Yo, welcome to the zone, the fantasy throne. All world vibes where the stats get shown. Play the wrong gurus dropping gems on the mic. Lineups get tight, every pick sounding right. From Sundays to Mondays, we making it clear. Trade talk with the grab strategies severe. Deep dives absurd like a L.M.S.L spree. All world fantasy where legends agree. Defenses stacking, the points adding weight. Hosts dropping heat, don't you dare show up late. Dynasty dreams or a DFS glance. This your winning ticket, give your lineup a chance. All world fantasy, we break it down raw. Draft board champs with a playbook to all. High game dishes, the knowledge too deep. From sweepers to stars, we make your team elite.
Welcome back to another episode on All's World Fantasy Football Podcast. This is week 2, heading to week 3 of the fantasy football season. I hope everybody's doing well on this Wednesday night. I'm sorry I came to y'all, got it to y'all late. Had a lot going on with the kids. But they're okay, of course. But again, this is just notes from week 2. My league, I know, I feel y'all pain out there. 0-2. I feel y'all pain. 0-2. Rough start. But don't panic. But again, if you really don't like what you have seen or heard, by all means, do what you need to do, especially if you are 0-2. It was a lot of quarterback injuries this week, and that will hurt a lot of fantasy football coaches' overall teams. Here goes the injuries from week 2. Quarterback, man, my keeper and last man stay in the league, quarterback Joe Burrow of the Bengals, suffered a grade 3 turf toe injury. It's serious news already came out that he's going to miss 3 months and needs surgery. Quarterback Jake Browning would be the Bengals signal caller for the rest of the season. Browning, in his 7 starts in 2023, he averaged 22 points per game. I definitely dropped everything on him to get him, to make sure I got him. He looked good to pull off the win last week versus Jaguars, putting up 19.74 points. Quarterback Brock Purdy, we already knew, but the 49ers from last week dealing with the same injury. He's out 2 to 4 games because his injury is grade 2 turf toe. I don't know what it is this year with these quarterbacks and this ankle foot problem, but having this spreading across the league now. But that backup for the 49ers, Matt Jones, looked really good in his replace, scoring 24 points versus New Orleans and pulling off the win. That's a nice pickup in a super flex league, of course. Quarterback Jaden Daniels of the Commanders is dealing with a PCL knee injury. He is out for week 3 versus the Raiders. If it's a grade 2, he will miss around a month. If it's a grade 3, he'll miss around 2 months. Backup quarterback Mariota will be taking over. And the 2 starts, he only had 2 starts in the last 2 years. He averaged 22 points per game in those 2 games. But keep in mind, 2 starts last year, backing up Jaden Daniels. He averaged 22 points per game in those 2 games last year, but keep in mind those games was against the lonely Panthers and Cowboys, 2 bottom-ranked defenses. But again, so many people out there are struggling to just have a quarterback 2 start, so you can pick Marcus Mariota up. Quarterback J.J. McCarthy of the Vikings is dealing with a high ankle sprain. It was announced 2 days ago, that he will be out 2 to 4 weeks. I'm getting all the information from the injury expert on YouTube. He said he would not be 100% until the off season, so I'll take a look at adding backup quarterback Carson Wentz to replace him. Wentz only started in 2 games for the past 2 years, where he finished 33rd and second at the quarterback position in those sad games. So obviously, if you're struggling, Carson Wentz can be a pickup, especially in I always forget his name, the head coach system in Minnesota always produce top 12 quarterbacks in fantasy. So why not take a chance on him? Quarterback Justin Fields of the Jets is in concussion protocol. He left the game versus the Bills after suffering a concussion, so keep a lookout. Oh, no, the news came out that he will miss week 3. His replacement would be quarterback Tyrod Taylor, which didn't look good at all. I wouldn't even consider picking him up. Running back Aaron Jones, here we go again. For those owners that knows Aaron Jones in the last 4 to 5 years, he's out 2 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury. This happens every year, so coaches should be used to it by now. Let's see what that would do for the offseason free agent acquisition. Running back George Mason do with most of the backfield opportunities. Wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jaguars. His coach said after week 2 game versus the Bengals, he is dealing with a wrist injury. They didn't report it coming into week 2 game, where he had a high target share with 12 targets and accumulated just 4 catches for 49 yards. Now, after 2 weeks, he has combined 19 targets. Yes, 19 targets in 2 games for a measly 5 catches and 60 yards. I don't know what it is. I haven't really seen the Jaguar games this year, but 19 targets, 5 catches, 60 yards. Is it a Trevor Lawrence thing? Because Matt Jones was on the same page with him last year. And for those that would affect your fantasy players, offensive line, the NFL is dealing with a lot of injury across the league. Center Cooper Beebe of the Cowboys out 6 to 8 weeks with a high ankle sprain, so that hurts their running game, which was evident when he left the game against the Giants this past week. So watch out for that. Running back Javonte Williams owners. And Carolina is dealing with even major issues across the offensive line. I think it was 2 more offensive linemen went down this week. So look out for that. And I would say when you want to look at injuries, like for the offensive line and for the opposite defense that your player is going against, especially a key opponent, a key player, a key contributor on the defensive side, or a key contributor on the offensive line, look at the outs and ends on Sunday morning. You get a lot of details, more accurate, up-to-date Sunday morning. My biggest risers for after week 2, quarterback Justin Herbert keeps moving up the charts from the Chargers. Scored 23.78 points versus Raiders. He now is ranked this year in fantasy football 5th at the quarterback position. I didn't know he was going to be attempting 30 passes a game. On top of that, he is very efficient with 5 passing touchdowns and no interception, leading his ball club to a 2-0 start to the season. I had him ranked 17th. I moved him up to 11th. Quarterback Daniel Jones, same thing. Continued to prove me wrong. I was absolutely wrong on this. From the Colts, moved him up from 21st to 15th. After seeing him upset the Broncos, where he have the surprising quotes now at 2-0. He's not just doing it with his legs while scoring rushing touchdowns, but surprisingly throwing through the air as well. To have no turnovers is remarkable, considering it's Daniel Fumble Jones. That was a nickname he was given when he was with the Giants. Got to give him his praise. He's currently the second best quarterback in fantasy scoring-wise. Running back Javonte Williams, another player I was completely out and down on before the season start. He just continued to prove me wrong week in and week out. The running back from the Cowboys scored 26.6 points versus New York Giants in a high-scoring back-and-forth game. I had him 28th. He moved up to 23rd. I got to admit, so far I was wrong. He looks better and better every week. That touchdown run that way, the way he hit that hole and showed that burst that I was waiting to see if he still had it so far. So good. So he's good in my eyes. Continue rising up my charts, my rankings. Running back James Cook from the Buffalo Bills, he scored 30.5 points versus the Jets, making that defense look like he was back in high school. That run, if y'all didn't see that run, man, his balance, his contact balance, the way he can get in and out of his cuts and still don't lose no explosiveness. I was down on him because there was no way that he can lead, or I think he was either led the league in touchdowns last year or he was tied. Touchdown is one of those sticky stats that year to year it change. So I was down on him just because of there's no way he could get. I think he had 17 touchdowns last year, but shit, he on pace for that again. I had him coming into the week ranked 14th. I moved him up to 8th. He has been one of the few consistent players and fans of football so far this year. Consistently great, might I add, where the first 2 weeks of the season, he has finished 4th and 2nd at the running back position, averaging 23.85 points per game. Second year wide receiver for the Bears, Roma Dunze. On the season, he is currently ranked 4th at the wide receiver position. After his game against the Lions, you can't call that a game, honestly. Detroit went out and stumped a mud-hole in them, beating them 52-21. But there was one bright spot, and it was Rome. He scored a career high, 33.8 points. He's definitely planted himself as the number one wide receiver in Chicago. I had him ranked 32nd. Now I moved him up to 24th. Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver from the Detroit Lions, the number one rated wide receiver in scoring in week 2, a jaw-dropping 41.2 points versus the Bears. I was nervous after seeing week 1, but they did play against that dominant Green Bay defense, and Detroit was playing at home in week 2. I moved him up from 9th to 5th. Sun God did it again. Biggest fallers. Quarterback Geno Smith for the Raiders. After week 2 versus the Chargers, scoring just a measly 3.2 points, he looked lost out there like a deer in headlights. He threw 3 picks, and I think he had a fumble as well. I know Chargers defense is good, but they made the whole Raiders offense look pathetic. So I had him at 16th coming into the week 2. Now I moved him down to 23rd. Got to see more from their entire offense. Running back Amari Hampton, rookie of the Chargers. I had him ranked 13th. Now I have him at 19th. And the reason why is after 2 weeks, he is ranked 45th at the running back position. He played 80% of snaps in week 1, and that dropped to 62% this week against the Raiders. And somewhat of a blowout where they were in control of that game most of it. So that's so surprising and disappointing at the same time. Shit, all the rookie running backs, Genty, R.J. Harvey, Travion Henderson, and don't let me forget Caleb Johnson. Wow, they just have been such a disappointment after 2 weeks of the season. At the wide receiver position, my biggest disappointment and the biggest faller for after week 2 is DK Metcalf, wide receiver of the Steelers. In week 2 versus the Seahawks, he finished the game with just 6 targets, scoring 11 points, which put him as the 36th ranked wide receiver after 2 weeks. him and Rogers are not on the same page, and I'm guessing DK is just another freak of nature type player with all the athleticism and size and speed, which that just don't add up when it comes out on a football field. It doesn't show. So I had him at 15th and moved him down 8 spots to 23rd. I would sell him if you could off his big name. And that goes for any players with big names and kind of disappointing. Try to trade him. Like I said again, A.J. Brown said last week, trade him. Through 2 games, there are 54 running backs with 10 plus carries. Genty, rookie running back for the Raiders, ranked 54th with negative .1 yards before contact per attempt. Man, he gotta be, other than Brian Thomas Jr., he has to be one of the most disappointing players in fantasy football. Most leagues, most formats, he went in the first round or top 5 in the running back position, drafted either first or second round. And for him to not only look bad, I know the offensive line ain't good, but not only not to even look like he shows flashes. Don't get me wrong, he does show flashes. The offensive line is not, coming into the season, the offensive line wasn't ranked to be good anyway. But I just expected so much more out of him. In my rankings, I had him 11th coming into week 2. I moved him down to 14th. I still have some type of glimmer of hope with his talent and his resume coming out of college. But 1 or 2 more games like this, it'll probably be too late by then, but 1 or 2 more games like this, he will be a first round bust. And I'm like I said, it's not even about the NFL version of it. I'm talking about fantasy football. Well, I guess you can look at it as both. But yeah, I'm down on all the rookie running backs. I'm just not liking what I see. The production's dropping, the snap percentage, the touches. Caleb Johnson, he just got benched for returning kicks because he let the ball go past him. And what was it? Pittsburgh and Seattle. I think it was Seattle, this week. And Seattle scored a touchdown off a kickoff. So they script him for being a kickoff returner. So it's just been such a disappointing year so far for rookies in general. All rookies. The only rookies that's been good is Tat McKillen from the rookie receiver from Carolina Panthers. I guess you can say Tyler Warren, the tight end from the Colts. Bouquet, for the wide receiver for the Buccaneers. Those rookies has shown something or produced something to have you kind of pleased where you selected them or drafted them in your draft. So, like I said, it's just week 2. We still have a long season to go. But like I said, if you don't like what you see, try to get in front of it. Try to shake the trees and see who's around your league that like those players they probably still high on Genty. They probably still high on them rookie running backs. They still high on the big names, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. They high on those players. So try to trade them. It was a trade in our last man standing league where Genty and Garrett Wilson was traded for the number 1 running back in fantasy football so far this year, and Bijan Robinson. So you see, just that alone, those are the type of trades that you never know you can have until you try, reach out to coaches and see. But those are the type of trades that goes down in my league. That what makes our league so I ain't gonna. It's just being in the league where there's no activity, man. I ain't saying you gotta trade every second of the day, but just the negotiation, the back and forth, the banter, the group chat, blowing up when trades are, being accepted, and some people are feeling some type of way because they didn't get the player. It's just all fun and games, man. It makes the league so enticing and interesting to come back every year. So again, man, shout out to Last Man Standing League, where in week 2, and let me pull this up real quick. I'm sorry about this. In week 2, I lost again, going 0-2 to Coach Ralph. He beat me 183 to 163, led by James Cook and Puka, both scoring 30 points. So he went to 2-0. Then the champ from last year got his first victory of the year. He 1-1. He beat the newcomer, the rookie coach, Coach Jonathan, 189 to 158, led by Malik Neighbors, 41.7 points put up. And the surprising Javonte Williams, 26 points. Good victory, champ. Then the surprising coach so far of the year is Coach Jack. He's now 2-0 after beating Coach Josh, now 1-1, 162 to 131. Coach Jack was led by, he had a balanced attack, but most of his points came from that one player, Sun God, 41.2, wide receiver number 1 this week. Then we had the newcomer, another rookie. That's Coach Jalen. He beat the 2-time champ, Coach Showtime. And now Coach Showtime is 0-2. And where he really struggled to score 2 weeks in a row. There was the lowest scoring game of the week, 116 to 95. Coach Jonathan was led by Christian McCaffrey, 23.7, and Devontae Adams, 24.6 to take him to undefeated 2-0, and the 2-time champ is 0-2. And the last game of the week was Coach Hunter is now 1-1 after losing against, she got her first victory in the league, Coach Jamie, 174 to 145. Coach Jamie was led by JSN again, the most consistent player in fantasy so far, 20.3. And Baker Mayfield, 20.9. He's a dog, man. He plays the amount of hits he took in that game and still finished that game. You got to give him his kudos. So, yeah, those the games for the week for Last Man Standing League. And for my 14-team league and the Scream League, matchups from last week wasn't too pretty for your guy. High scoring game, I lost against the champ. I call him OG, Coach Robbie, 175 to 145. Well, man, when you go against Chase and Neighbors putting up 40 points apiece, that's hard to beat. But shout out to OG, Coach Robbie. Took me down. I'm now 1-1, and he's 2-0. Then we had Coach Ali versus Coach Will. Coach Will pulled that off, 146 to 131, led by Jared Goff, 46.96 points. Man, they put it on Chicago. That was a statement game to Ben Johnson, the head coach for Chicago. He used to be the offensive coordinator for Detroit. They put it on him. That was a statement. That put Coach Will to 1-1, Coach Ali to 1-1. Then we had the champ from last year, Coach Flip versus Coach J. Coach J is surprisingly 2-0. Low scoring affair of 112 to 98, led by, again, Baker Mayfield, 23.9 points. Coach Showtime got his first win of the season. He's 1-1 versus Coach Tony. He's now 0-2. Another low-scoring game, 99-65. Coach Showtime got the victory on the arm of Trevor Lawrence, 27.24 points. Then we had Coach Steve versus Coach Chris. Oh, this was the closest game of the week. The final score was 150 to 147. Coach Steve is dealing with the quarterback injury, like most of us is, with Jaden Daniels. But before he left the game, he put up 23. And then this is a standard league with kicker and defense. So he had Aubrey, the Cowboys kicker. So if y'all didn't see that game or y'all don't know who Aubrey is, he's the best kicker in the NFL, hands down. There's nobody close. I guess you can say Boswell from Pittsburgh, but nah, I don't think nobody's more consistent, and definitely ain't got the strongest leg in the league than Aubrey. He put up 22. Steve is 2-0, and Chris is 1-1. Then we had Coach Lexi and Coach Brian. Coach Brian fell to 0-2. Coach Lexi went to 1-1. She beat him 146 to 113, led by Lamar, 34 points. Then Coach Dennis got his first victory of the year, beating Coach DeAndre 152 to 132, led by 3 players, all putting up 25-plus points: Jordan Love, Javonte Williams, and James Cook. Oh, also, we got him the W was Monday night. Chargers defense put up 26 points versus the measly Raiders. So that was a recap in both of our leagues. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that tunes in, listen, hit the bell, click that thumbs up, subscribe, share. Hey, tell people. I'm just trying to do this just for those average fans, coaches out there. Just need a little bit more content around the league based off just your format. And like I said, I'm just talking about last man standing league. We're in a superplex league, 2 quarterbacks, and I'm in a standard league, 14-team league where they got kickers and defense, 1 quarterback. So I'm hitting both sides of it. But once again, I appreciate everybody listening and tuning in. I love y'all. I'm out.
All world fantasy, we break it down raw. Draft board champs with a playbook to all. High game vicious, the knowledge too deep. From sweepers to stars, we make your team elite.